Yes, it's that time for the first edition of Inside with Kenny Bamidele right here on The Den. What we do right here is we talk sport, football, basketball, tennis, Formula One, talk about everything sport. That is what we do right here on DDN and giving you exciting angles to the top stories that we're going to be talking about on this particular edition. So, welcome on board. I am Kenny Bamidele. Well, what a day it has been. Today across the world of sport, some teams playing in the cup competitions. We have the EFL Cup today. We have the DFB Pokal in Germany. That's the German version of the League Cup. We also have the Copa del Rey, very much ongoing right now. And it's been a really interesting day, if you ask me, because we've also had basketball activities too in the Nigeria Men's Basketball League. The playoff eight is very much on in Port Harcourt, the basketball stadium at Niger Street in Port Harcourt. That is where the playoff eight is ongoing right now. We'll talk about, lots of stories, take a look at the Nigeria Men's Basketball League, like I just mentioned, then talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Today, they played against Benin Republic at home at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta, and it ended one apiece for the team. But that was enough for them to progress to the next round right there. We'll talk about that today. Talk about the Flamingos. Yes, they're also playing right now against Italy. It is the round of 16 of the Under 17 Women's World Cup, which is ongoing in Morocco. Well, the Flamingos qualified, becoming the third best placed team in their group, just like we saw the Flying Eagles did the other time at the Under 20 Men's World Cup we saw in Chile. So we'll talk about that too. Then talk about Formula One, then basketball. It's a packed edition of Inside with Kenny Bamidele right here on the Den Studio. So welcome on board. Right now, let's kickstart things talking about the Nigeria Men's Basketball League. Well, the final eight, the playoff eight, beg your pardon, started yesterday. That's on Monday, and we've seen interesting results. Lagos Legends, they were trailing with double digits against Nigeria Customs. That was in the fourth quarter. But guess what? They fought back to win that game. The former, Brad Akwete plays for the national team. He played for the national team at the African tournament. He plays with Lagos Legend. He was part of the players who really turned up for them. 73 to 68, helping them beat Nigeria Customs right there. I don't know what is happening to Nigeria Customs recently. They are not giving us the type of action they give us in years past. Kano Pillars, that is one name that even if you don't love basketball, you would have heard of when it comes to Nigerian basketball history. But they lost to Boko City Chiefs. In this game, Ofia Abel went mad. He went crazy because he actually got the free throw. We tied the game and ended up helping Boko Chief win the game yesterday against Kano Pillars. Nile University defeated Coral Falcons 76 to 74. Just imagine these same Coral Falcons, yes, represented Nigeria at the Basketball Africa League in the second edition, but they were beaten black and blue. Since then, they have been on the downward trend, and they lost to Nile University yesterday. And then Rivers Shoopers, the defending champions, yes, from Rivers State, defeated Hoops and Reed 73 to 50. Yes, Kelvin Amayo, that brother is in love with River Supers right now. If you see Kelvin Amayo, you will see River Supers anywhere. And of course, he was very instrumental in that win. Victor Sunday was very much on. Also, Victor Anthony, one man who played a really, really good game in that one for River Supers. Now, let's take a look at the result for today. Matches has also been played so far today. River Supers just finished their game against Kano Pillars. But before that, the fourth game of the day, Lagos Legend played their second game of the competition of this particular round, and it is their second win. Before this tournament, if anybody told me that Lagos Legend would actually beat a team, honestly, I was actually going to doubt that. They won 71 to 54 against the Kwara Falcons. Big win for Lagos Legends. Nigeria Customs lost today again to Boko City Chiefs. This is really a sad result for Nigeria Customs. Honestly, back-to-back defeat for them. He is what he is. He was what he was. 80 to 77 for Boko City Chief against Nigeria Customs. Nile University defeated Hoops and Reed. Now, Hoops and Reed is owned by Olumide Oyedeji. That is a former men's basketball team player. And I don't know what is happening to them this time around. I actually thought they would do better, but they lost to Nile University 76 to 66. And Kano Pillars were beaten by Rivers Hoopers 69 to 57. The first half, it was Kano Pillars leading. But Hoopers did what Kings, what they do. They fought back to win against Kano Pillars 69 to 57 right there. Of course, we have interesting matches to expect tomorrow, Wednesday, in the Nigeria Men's Basketball League. Let's take a look at these matches to expect in the Men's Basketball League tomorrow. Kara Falcons will be up against Hoops and Reed. Hoops and Reed are yet to win a single game. Kara Falcons will also they'll be hoping to get a win tomorrow. That game is meant to be played very early as 10 a.m. tomorrow. Lagos Legends will be up against Boko City Chiefs. The good thing about this match is both teams have won 2 games. But one thing about tomorrow's game is one of them have to lose. Basketball, you don't draw. There is no, you take 1 point, I take 1 point. There has to be a winner tomorrow. Who will the winner be? Only time will tell. Lagos Legends against Boko City Chiefs. That one is tomorrow. We're going to be seeing Nile University versus Kano Pillars. That is another matchup to expect tomorrow. Kano Pillars need this game. If they probably want to stand the chance of qualifying to the next round, which is the semi-finals, and the final four, beg your pardon, they have to win this game. Then Rivers Hoopers versus Nigeria Customs. Nigeria Customs has had a slow start, and they need that win too tomorrow. In fact, they need to win by a big margin to maybe stand the chance of qualifying to the next round right there. So far, the league has been pretty interesting. And I'm going to say that for Rivers Hoopers, a team who they are the defending champions, they are playing like they want to defend it again. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, that this Rivers Hoopers team, they are the team to beat. Consistency. When you see a team that has structure, you know one. And I think they have what it takes to go on and defend the title. One team that has what it takes to stop them is Boko City Chief, because they also have a stacked up roster. They have a stacked up roster. I don't want to even go into mention names, but I've got Ofia Abel, who has also been cooking since the start of the playoff 8 right there. So it's a whole lot happening in the Nigeria Men's Basketball League. Don't worry. As lot unfolds, we'll let you know right here and Inside Kenny Bamidele on D-Den Studios. We'll talk about that extensively in subsequent edition of the program. All right, so let us leave that and talk about our darling Super Falcons of Nigeria. One thing you love the Super Falcons for is the fact that they know how to make us proud. They do us proud every single time. The men's disappoint us. The women's, of course, they make us proud almost every time. Today, it was a 1-0 draw against Benin Republic, but that was enough for them to progress to the Women's African Cup of Nations for next year. Now, before that game, I had an interaction with a friend who went to cover the game, and he told me that Nigeria will win 5-0. I was quite optimistic that, maybe 4 goals, we should score. We scored the first goal. I was thinking, more still to come, keep it coming. But guess what? It was 1-0 halftime, and Benin Republic equalized, at some point in the 60th minute, and that was how it ended. But one thing I have to talk about, the Nigeria Football Federation keep embarrassing us. I have to be really honest. The Nigeria Football Federation keeps embarrassing us. Now, what happened? Last week, when Nigeria played against Benin Republic in Lome, Togo, the game was streamed. The Ministry of Sport streamed it on their official Facebook handle, and we watched it. Now, it was our turn today. Nigerians wanted to watch that match. I saw reactions. Nigerians were not happy at all. Nigerians wanted to watch that game. They started the stream before the game started, and guess what? They couldn't stream again. And the excuse was the network in the stadium is actually very bad. All right. That was the excuse. Then I went on TikTok. I saw an individual, not just one, 3 individuals streaming on TikTok live. How come their network was not affected? These are the things we talk about. As minute as this look, this is how you get to know a serious federation. The federation that really cares about the country, about the people. Today, I realized how much Nigerians wanted to watch that game. This wasn't the Super Eagles, but there are millions of Nigerians who love to watch the Super Falcons too. That is it. I saw a comment. Someone said that he had to leave work early to watch the game, but couldn't watch it. So this is actually very bad. Before, games like this, there has to be proper arrangement. I don't know which service provider they are using, but if a TikTok user who was right in the stadium could stream and 3 individuals, how come the Nigeria Football Federation? Think about it. This makes absolutely no sense. And I think a lot needs to be done in order to correct the anomalies that has been bedeviling the Football Federation in Nigeria. If you look at sport in Nigeria, you get to see a lot of things that is affecting the progress of sport in Nigeria. Talk about basketball. Let's not even go into that. Let's not even go into that. So please, please, and please, NFF, this has to stop. If the Republic Ministry of Sport could stream on the official Facebook handle, you can go check it on Facebook. Yes, the Republic Ministry of Sport streamed it last week, the first leg, but Nigeria couldn't stream. In fact, the handle for Benin Republic had to share on their page, but nothing. So, Super Falcons are through to the Women's African Cup of Nations next year in Morocco. They want to defend it again. Of course, that is their birthright. It is now a standard. Winning the women's title is now a standard. Yeah, it is a standard to them. No problem. And hopefully they will be able to do that come next year. I mean, you're still watching Inside with Kenny Bamidele right here on DDEN. And of course, talking about some top stories making rounds in the world of sport. You know what? Let's observe this breather. And when I return, we get to talk about the Flamingos of Nigeria. The game is ongoing between Nigeria and Italy. And of course, we'll let you know the live updates after this break. Keep it locked. Yes, welcome back from that break. You're still watching Inside with Kenny Bamidele right here on DDEN. And I talked about a lot of stories already. Talked about the Nigeria Men's Basketball League, and then talked about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Right now, let's talk about the Flamingos, the under-17 women's football team of Nigeria. Now, there is a World Cup that is ongoing in Morocco, but the good thing is we still have Nigeria in that tournament. In fact, we are in the round of 16, and there is a game ongoing between Italy and Nigeria right now. 44 minutes gone in that game, it is still goalless. That's good news because Italy won all of their group games, and some of us thought that it would be a total annihilation for Nigeria today against Italy. But if they're yet to concede and 44 minutes gone, it means that maybe, just never say never, the Flamingos can just pull a surprise in that game today. Okay, looking at some of the players in the starting lineup, there is Shakirat Moshood, Yes, Shakira Moshood is one name that we know well when it comes to this team. She's also one of the key players that we expect to do. I mean, give us that moment of brilliance in that game against Italy. We also have the likes of Unwachuku. She's also on the team. Joseph, yeah, part of the strikers right there. That is Schwab. So one thing about this game is for the Flamingos, it's been really tough for them getting to this round. They lost the first game to Canada 4-1. Then lost to France 1-0. Then the last group game was against Samway. We needed to win by a big margin in order to finish as the third best placed team, the best loser in that group. And of course, we did the job cleanly. 4-0 it ended against Samway. And of course, that was enough for us to progress to the next round. Thanks to other teams dropping points and losing by big margin in the other games. So that was what gave us the edge to qualify to the round of 16. Now we are in the round of 16. First half, goalless against Italy. If Nigeria beat Italy today, my brother, tomorrow the whole country will scatter because it's gonna be what I will call the unthinkable against a team who are yet to lose a game and a team who has lost two games. You understand? You can see the difference in stats for both teams, but it's all the best to them. The last edition, they finished third in India, so it's important that maybe they go past that one, finishing first this time around. It wouldn't be a bad idea. The Flamingos, this is one team that we just have to support them like we have been supporting the Super Falcons of Nigeria. All right, leaving that right now. Let's talk about something, and that is the National Basketball Association. The season is back, but that is not what we're talking about. It's about the gambling scandal that has rocked the NBA and the investigation that is being conducted by the FBI. Two NBA personnel are being talked about: Teddy Rozier and, of course, Chauncey Billup. These two names are being talked about right now. Now, this is what I think about this. Rozier is earning $26 million and is betting to win thousands of dollars. I've think about this so many times, and I just cannot come up with a reason why he should be doing that. And one thing that the FBI need to do is you have to investigate and ask other players questions. I'm sure that if the FBI look into this further, there'll probably be other players who are probably guilty of this, because it makes no sense as a fan watching a basketball game which is meant to be fair, which is meant to be keenly contested, and you know that these games outcome could be influenced by individuals. It makes absolutely no sense. And I think the FBI needs to look into this further. There was a time when some players were called out, that wasn't even as big as this. And this time around, it wasn't even about the NBA. Yes, it wasn't even about the NBA too, but because this is strictly basketball, that is why I'm just talking about the NBA. And I've seen a lot of reactions. I watched videos of Shaquille O'Neal talked about it, saying that it's a disgrace what Terry Rozier and Billups has actually done. I saw what Charles Barkley said about calling it stupid, getting to, engage in something like this when you make as much, maybe as much as 50 times more than what you were betting to actually win. I've seen different reactions right there. And I think that, at the end of the day, there has to be proper investigation. I'm sure that if you ask more questions, there'll be more players that probably will be guilty of this. Just last week, I was watching a video where Al Farouk Aminu, the chief, talked about load management. And I think this has got a role to play too. The load management is meant for players to at least cushion the way they get injured, not to make them get injured every time, just to give them chance to rest, basically. But some players are misusing it. And that is the reason why a Terry Rozier would leave a game claiming he's injured and nobody will say anything. See, we all play the game of basketball. I watch basketball in Nigeria, and in fact, it is more tensed playing basketball in Nigeria than playing in the United States. It's more physical. But you rarely see players leaving the game saying that they're injured, they're not playing. I've had Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, talk about the game. If you are walking, then I will play. But now you want to be 1,000% fit to play the game. Come on, this is not good for the game. It's not good for the culture. It's not good for the culture. So I think somehow NBA has to be very serious because as a fan and also a pundit, I'll probably be watching another NBA game and I'm thinking, why is Kawhi Leonard leaving this game? Could it be something fishy? Look at the season Kawhi Leonard won the title with Toronto Raptors. How many games did he play that time? I think he played about 60 games with them. But since then, how many games has Kawhi Leonard played? But his injury, who am I? What can I say about that? So we just hope that there's going to be the proper judgment to be made and we get to know the others who are involved because there probably be other players if they look into this. All right, you're still watching Inside with Kenny Bamidele right here on D Den, and it's been fun so far. I'm not even going to lie. We still have something to talk about, and that is the world of Formula One. But that'll be right after this break. Keep it locked. All right, welcome back from that breather. I trust you're doing good. Let's move away from basketball and talk about Formula One right now. As it is hotting up in basketball, it is also hotting up in the world of Formula One car racing, where we saw the Mexican Grand Prix over the weekend. Now, McLaren's Lando Norris took the championship lead for the first time since April with a dominant victory in the Mexico City Grand Prix. Norris was serenely out of reach for some compelling battles and incident behind him as he kept the lead from pole position into the first corner and controlled the race from there. Big win for Lando Norris. Now let's take a look at the championship standings. On top is Lando Norris. He's got 357 points. A lot is going through my head right now. Lando Norris, who look like he's probably not going to win it this year, is on the verge of winning it because Oscar Piastri has been sleeping. Oscar Piastri has got 356 points, and the closest to him is Max Verstappen, who will be hoping that both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri capitulate in order to be able to usurp them. But that's going to be tough. So the title is between Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri right there. So we'll see how it goes. Talking about the Formula One right there. Okay, I want to talk about a few things before we call it a wrap. This edition of Inside with Kenny Bamidele. We have seen the Premier League start. Drama, drama, drama. For Arsenal has been vintage, Liverpool has been village. And the question is, what is happening to Liverpool? What is the problem of the team that won the title last time out? The team that looked like they're probably not going to lose more than 4 games last season. They've lost 4 games in the Premier League already. 4 consecutive games. You know, they won 5 consecutive games. Now they've lost 4 consecutive. I'm thinking, could it be losing 5, winning 5, losing 5, winning? I pray not. But for Liverpool, I think it's been really tough. The coach has to go. Arne Slot is the problem. Arne Slot looks like he's not a tactical genius. Now, it's so obvious that the reason why Liverpool won the title last season was because of the work Jurgen Klopp did before Arne Slot came to take over, I beg your pardon. Because of the work that Jurgen Klopp did, that was what Arne Slot enjoyed all through last season. Now, he was able to sign his players. He got Frimpong, got Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez, got Leone, the guy from Parma, who played one game and went a 6-month injury. And now you just cannot find the right formation, the right tactics. Everything is just not working. I see Liverpool fans calling out Salah. See, I understand that Salah has not been in form recently. But as a Liverpool fan, calling out Salah, I don't think it is right. Yeah, I don't think it is right. For years, this guy has been turning out consistent performance. And it's about the entire team. Virgil van Dijk is not in form. Konate is more like the good one out of the bad eggs right now for Liverpool. Ekitike is also one man who tries as much as possible to be creative. Isak is there to settle in. With this type of form, Liverpool should be battling relegation, if not for the first 5 games they've won. I think the coach has to go. I'm hearing news about Jurgen Klopp coming back. Now, the issue about Arne Slot being sacked, if he's sacked, who will replace him? Don't tell me Steven Gerrard, please. He played for Liverpool before, but I do not think he has what it takes. He has the enthusiasm to lead a team like Liverpool. I've seen him manage Aston Villa, I've seen him Al Ettifaq in Saudi Arabia, Rangers. I do not think he can manage Liverpool well. And don't say Brendan Rodgers because he resigned recently with Celtic. No, not Brendan. So it's all about a team like Liverpool. You just cannot bring any coach to come and lead Liverpool. You can do that with Chelsea, do that with Man U, but not with Liverpool. Not with Liverpool. We'll see how it goes with the Reds. For the Premier League champions, I think Arsenal should win the Premier League title. For the Champions League, this is going to be really tough because it's still early days though. Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Man City. I think this will be Liverpool sitting in the Champions League. I see Liverpool coming back and, of course, win the Champions League this season. Yes, that is what I think about that right there. And talking about Formula One, it has to be Oscar Piastri. He should win the Formula One championship. I'm trying to do some predictions right now. So if they end up like that, I also feel like Octopus Paul at the 2010 World Cup, who did a lot of the predictions that time, and it was accurate. Okay, so what else do I need to predict on? Okay, let me just put it like that for today. The next edition, I will do the remaining prediction. But what a session it has been. This is the first edition of Inside with Kenny Bamidele right here on D-Den. If this edition could be this interesting, think about how the subsequent ones will be. So you don't want to miss it. And there's going to be other interesting programs to expect on D-Den. Do not miss it. Special thanks to the producers and, of course, those that ensure that this edition went so well. Appreciate the great job done. Join me on Thursday for another edition of Inside with Kenny Bamidele. Until then, I am Kenny Bamidele, signing out.